Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 15, Caught in a Lie. Troy and Zeruiah. Let's get into it. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers and my listening reviews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie Advice. It's time for Auntie Advice.
Welcome back, everybody. And this is Auntie. And hey, we are about to get into Troy and Zeruiah, Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 15, Caught in a Lie. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I've been breaking these things down. And last week I broke it down. I had mentioned to some people doing the live. I don't know what that is. What is that on my shirt? Hold on, let me get that. Is that showing up like what is that? Oh, okay. It's a little piece of left. Okay. I had broke it down last week. That was the first week I broke it down, right? Honey, let me tell y'all something. Y'all did not, y'all weren't interested in this couple. I think that the reason why a lot of y'all were not interested in this couple because it's the same old, same old. It's arguing all the time. The storyline seems a whole, it just completely seems fake. And let me tell you, this week I was like, I'm gonna have to pull something out my drawers, okay, or out my bra in order to do this review because it ain't nothing going on but the same thing that was happening last season. And I am sitting up here saying, I thought he went here for this, and then he didn't go there for that, and he went for this. And I don't know what the storyline is for this particular couple, y'all. I swear I don't. I don't understand what it is. Y'all tell me downtown in the chat if you understand what it is. But this is the worst storyline that I have seen in a very long time. Anyway, I'm going to get in it. So, last episode, we all know that Troy, his brother and his sister had went to the dad's gravesite in order to, get the brother, I guess to encourage the brother and to warn him basically that if he doesn't get his life together, that he could end up in the same place as his other brother, who is resting in peace right now. So Troy is at the house with the sister, and he is eating some food with a bonnet on. And I was like, why brother got that bonnet on? They have so many different things for men to wear in the beauty shop on the Amazon.com and some more stuff. There's so many different things that Troy could wear on his head other than a bonnet. I don't know if that's like drinking your beer while in the hood. I don't know if that's coming from Menace to Society. I don't know if it's coming from I'm going to get you sucker. I don't know if it is coming. Like, where is it coming from and where is it acceptable, in my humble opinion, for a man to wear a bonnet? I'm just asking for a friend. Because I don't know now one man that I know that wears a bonnet on his head. But Troy is sitting up there with one on his head. I don't know if he borrowed it from Zeruiah or his sister, but I'm like, why is he sitting here with a bonnet on his head? Anyway, I digress. So, he's having a conversation with the sister, and he is saying that he does not feel like he has a home when he comes. He said he doesn't feel like he has a home when he comes back home, right? And so, the sister's like, this is a home for you. I want you to always, this is a family home. And I want you to always feel like you're welcome, in the house, and that you got a place, for yourself to be. And so Troy is, indicated that he came there for his brother, right? See, this is where they're not getting this storyline together. They got to sew this like they sewing a hole in some drawers. Troy said that he was coming there for Vaughn. Now all of a sudden, Troy coming there for Ashes. He goes back and he reminisces about his father and his relationship with his father and getting the phone call that his father had passed away. Troy said that he is his only son. Okay, so I'm assuming that Troy's other siblings have other parents, I mean other dads. Maybe I got it twisted. Y'all let me know down in the chat, right? So he says that he was the only son. But he said I gotta go and pick up these ashes. I haven't gotten the ashes in years. So I'm like, so what we saw at the beginning with them being down at the gravesite for the brother was not the real reason. The telephone call that we got the first episode that we saw Troy and Zeruiah was that the mom had called and said, "Is Zeruiah around? I don't want to talk to Zeruiah. I don't want to talk to you while she's around, right? Because it's going to trigger me." Then we see that he gets a telephone call from his sister. Not one time did I hear anything about any fucking ashes. But now he's there in Buffalo to get ashes. Just say you need to get ashes. And while I'm here to get ashes, I'm going to stop by my mama's. And then I'm going to stop by my sisters. And then I'm going to stop by and pick up my brother. And then we're going to go to the gravesite. He said, I have come here to grieve. Listen to me. Now, I ain't one of them content creators that play the footage. But I'm telling you, Troy said, I have come here to grieve. So why lie or make it appear that in the first episode that we saw them, that this was for the brother? Why make it appear that Zeruiah didn't know he was going to pick up ashes? Pick up his father's ashes, because I'm assuming that his father got cremated. Why make it seem that Zeruiah didn't know anything about that? What would be Troy's reason for not telling Zeruiah that he is going to pick up his father's cremated body? Okay. And then the way that he's handling his sister with the snapping off of his sister, right now, why do like what is going on? Is he medicated? Do we need some Xanax? What do we need here in order to get Troy to come down? The respect level that Troy has for women. And these are women who are in his life. Now, I know that Troy has mentioned multiple times that his mother didn't raise him. I know that he has mentioned multiple times. He mentioned, I think in the first episode, that he and his brother were raised by two different people. But the respect level that he has for women is zero. Now, he is telling his sister he wants baby Troy, but he won't call Ayana, I think that's her name, himself. The same women that you sitting up in her house slamming your hand on tables, acting disrespectful, cutting her off, yelling, is the same woman now you saying, just get my daughter. And what does her mother, why, excuse me, Why do I have to talk to her, talk to Ayana in order to get Troy? Because Ayana is the child's custodial parent. Baby Troy, from what we have seen in previous season, lives with her mother. So why wouldn't you have to go through the child's mother in order to get her? Maybe I'm missing something. But he really, based on what how he is saying he was raised, not Auntie, because Auntie ain't made none of it up. Auntie ain't dug nothing up. According to what Troy is saying out of his mouth, his distrust and disrespect and hate for his mama got him disrespecting and distrusting and hating women, period. We see how he handles his own wife. He a punk to her. We saw her last season when they were on. She punked him out every time she got a chance. And we used to feel bad for him because of how Zeruiah treated him. Zeruiah, whatever. When she left him downtown to the opening of the clinic. Now, where is that at? Is that still open? Anyway, every time we saw her handle him, we didn't like it. And everybody felt sorry for Troy. Well, no, not everybody. Some people felt sorry for Troy. And now this time is Troy's opportunity. I have never heard a man say, why and how do I have to deal with the baby mama? You get her on the phone and you tell her, bring me my daughter. Meantime and in between time, Zeruiah is like, I'm part of his family. I just don't like how he does me. But now we know she know because he said he was coming to pick up his father's ashes. And so we building this other story outside of getting the ashes. Just get the motherfucking ashes. That is interesting to us. I don't know why it appears that they are embellishing these stories in order to keep us interested. This is the bull crap that doesn't keep us interested. I'm telling you, last week, y'all did not look at his video. And I put the faces on it so y'all know who it is and match it up. Y'all were not interested in Troy and Zeruiah. No, y'all won't. Y'all didn't give up. Thank you so much, Agent R, for the $5 super chat. They all have arrested development. Okay, allegedly. Okay. So he has a conversation with Zeruiah. He's going off. She's like, "How you doing?" He like, I'm about to flip out. I'm about to lunch out. I'm going crazy up in here. I'm on a rag. I got that. And she's like, "Okay, what's going on?" He don't feel like he need to call Ayana to get the baby. She was like, "Look, Troy, you're gonna have to take responsibility. You need to be trying to develop a relationship with this girl. She is the child's mother. You chose to have a baby with her, and now you got to man up. And if you want a relationship, you need to be able to sit down with her as an adult and say what it is that you have to say. And y'all come to a mutual agreement when it comes down to baby Troy." That was the first time I ever heard Zeruiah make sense out of anything. Because usually she's the a-hole. And then I was sitting up there thinking, he appears to me to need to be medicated because he was crying last episode, which we understood. Him and the siblings were crying. That is a sad thing to bury a parent. I know what that is, right? But I'm sure that my parents felt like they'd rather us bury them than they bury us, right? Because a parent never wants to bury their child. So I can imagine the hurt that the brother went through when he, when that the parents went through when they had to bury Troy's brother. And I don't know if that's Miss Karen's son or not, right? I don't know. I don't think that they've even ever made that clear to me. Y'all let me know down in the chat. But I'm sure if that was Miss Karen's son, that took a lot for her to have to bury her son. I'm sure it did. And I'm sure it has changed something in her. Because I have friends who have buried their kids, and as a mom, it changes you, right? Because nobody wants to bury their child. So, anyway, Troy is like, okay, he gets off the phone, he goes to his sister and tells his sister, call Ayana. So she calls her on the phone and she was like, hey, Ayana, just wanted to know whether or not we're going to be able to, we can get the baby this weekend. Thank you so much, baby Philly Fox podcast for the 199 super chat. The clinic was a pop-up. What clinic? Did I miss that? What clinic? Gabrielle says he cries too much for me and too emotional, respectfully. Yes, he is. And it's because he doesn't have coping skills. I don't know where he lost that or what, but the crying. So then Ayana was like, look, I don't want my daughter around that woman. Talking about Zeruiah, right? And so Zeruiah is like, so the sister was like, well, she's not here. And she was like, no, no. So when she hangs up and she tells Troy that she said no, because he said if she says no, then she's a bitter bitch. And I was like, that's so unfair. That's one thing I've noticed about these men who have been locked up. They will call a woman up in a heartbeat. They will call a woman a bee in a heartbeat. And the thing about it is, we have to take the power out of that word. You're going to have to come up with something more creative or something more accurate than just to be throwing around the B word. I've gotten to the point now where people say that word, I just be like, oh, okay. It's not going to move me. Because to me, that means that you lack, right, the vocabulary to describe what I really am to you. Why would a man call a woman a bee? They love throwing that around. I don't know if that's jail talk. Like, what is that? So he says that if she doesn't allow him to take the baby, then she's a bitter bitch. No, she's been burned by you and Zeruiah. She came down to the park to have a conversation with you. And next thing you know, she's in a confrontation with Zeruiah. She's tried to deal with you. And guess what? At the end of the day, if she says no, it's no. And the sister went to tell him, and he was like, she said no, and he was like, he said something, and the sister was like, well, maybe it would have been a different outcome had you called yourself to see your own child. I absolutely agree. The sister is very level headed. It is what it is. She understands it, or it appears that she understands it from all sides. She wants Troy to know that you are loved, that this is a house that you can come to and you can always feel at home when you're in Buffalo. She was like, I've never seen Troy this angry before. Something is going on. Maybe it's because he has to go and pick up his dad's ashes. Troy did say, that he wished he had one more time to talk to his father. I know that he regrets that he was incarcerated when his father passed away, because he said he went to the wake and the funeral with chains. He went shackled. He went to his daddy's funeral shackled. So I know that all of that has had an effect on him. But here's the thing: you live by the sword, you die by it. Absolutely, Charlotte. Charlotte said he should have called little Troy's mother himself. He absolutely should have called himself. And he shouldn't bring his sister in it, because the sister, it appears, has a good relationship, because she just picked up the phone with, and just was like, okay, let me call her real quick. So evidently they have a very good relationship. I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship they have. But I can tell you what, she picked up the phone when she called. And that's enough. That is enough. So now he's mad. Now he feels like he's a victim and she is better. And I'm just like, no, 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 no. This is the way you built this relationship with her. She, from what we saw. Now, of course, we saw a whole bunch of stuff that was going on downtown to the Facebook, a whole bunch of stuff. So at this point, we don't know what to believe or who to believe, but they in our face. So we gonna call it how we see it. Ain't we, y'all? Oh, yes, we are. So anyway, that is the end of this review of Love After Lockup Season 6, Episode 15, Caught in a Lie, Troy and Zeruiah. Y'all let me know downtown in the chat what you all think about them. YouTube is having problems with comments, and y'all know I usually hit y'all up and give you a star or a comment or something, but something's going on where they are not showing. So until that gets fixed, know that I really want to chat back with you, but I still be watching. Love y'all. Bye.